Remember to look at that and not yourself.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that.
It's been a while.
Back for another episode, guys.
Hey.
We haven't disappeared. We're still here.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute between episodes, I tell you that much. But I guess the reasoning behind that is we've had so much going on in the background. Lots of big things happening, as you've probably been following on the socials. If you haven't, we've been giving away little hints and photos and bits and pieces here and there.
If you haven't been watching on socials, you've seen the thumbnail and gone, what?
Yeah, so it's not clickbait. It's literally what's happened.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are probably sitting there going, what the actual hell? I thought everything was sweet. Everything was going really well. The place was coming together. And all those things were happening.
And in some ways, yes, you're right.
Yeah, but it's not what it all seems, which is really unfortunate. But what I can say is we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot out of all this, and we had to put this episode together to answer a lot of these questions that a lot of you are going to have, and just clarify a few things and give you a perspective on why we're doing what we're doing and why we've done it.
Yeah.
And what's coming up next.
So I guess we've got to tell you what's happened in a sense. So when we very first moved here, we saw a vision for a campsite, which we've created, and it's really wonderful. Before we opened the doors, the driveway that used to get down there wasn't caravan friendly. So we had to make a new driveway, which meant we had to cut out a fence. And
so if anyone's seen the episodes, you'll see that we got a big 30-ton digger in.
Yeah.
We had it for 7 days.
We removed a fence.
We did a heap of work with that. And one of the big main jobs was that entry road down to the campsite.
So people could get in with their vans and get in safely. And it turned out that one of our neighbours was using that as what's called a give and take fence. So they put cattle in that field, 250 cattle, and we removed the fence and they all went out into the road. And that was the beginning. So this is our poodle. Our poodle right now, herding. Yay! Good girl, Bella. Good girl, Bella. Got him to go back over the river. Perfect. So at that point, obviously that neighbour was very, very angry, but we had no idea about give and take fences. And just if you're really particular on deeds and things like that, it wasn't in our deed. It wasn't something that was part of the contract. So it was a handshake agreement with the old owner.
Yeah, I was going to say, to clarify, we had no idea about it.
Yeah.
No clue that was even what it was.
And released 250 cattle out.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whoops. So we ended up chatting. We're like, who are these cattle? We thought it was a different neighbour. He's gone, no, that's this neighbour. You can call them. So we called them, and they're an interesting family, I guess you could say. But through this experience, they reported us to council, the local police, the squad police, which is like the cattle squad police.
Fisheries.
It was, they put in a fencing complaint as well, and they put in a complaint into fisheries because we'd done a couple of things down by the river, which weren't a problem.
Anyone that you could notify was notified pretty much that day.
So within weeks of being here and starting to do work, we were on every person's radar in a sense. So it was like, okay, cool. We do YouTube. We need to do this properly. Let's just get council out here. Let's meet with them and let's chat everything through and find out what we're doing and what's right and what's wrong and everything. And then they came out and it was really good. We met up. So everything about the fencing issue ended up being resolved. Yeah. We had to go to NCAT because the neighbours wanted us to keep using our internal fence as their fence. And we went to NCAT and we won that and we got our space back. And then council came out and saw us and we went through everything we needed. So we needed a rural address number, which we did the application for. On one side of the road, we needed to apply for a driveway. So we did that and paid $3,000 to have it put in as well. What else? There was lots of things that need to happen. But one of the things that we discussed with them way back then, so we're talking September last year, was
long time ago.
Early days, is that we wanted to do events here. So we wanted to be able to do a camp out and bring everyone along to this land. And that was one of the key goals for us, and also a way to turn it into a main income stream. So we asked them about events and they said, yeah, it's fine. You can do an event permit. It'll take 6 to 8 weeks for approval and you're good to go. So we put in literally the next week the development application to do an event permit. It was going to be for 3 events in the year, and it took so long to begin with that one got cancelled. We never even told you about it. It didn't exist. The next one was the American Truck and Van Jamboree, which we held here not that long ago. And 4 weeks before that event, the council approached us and said, you can't do this. It's still not been approved. So we're 9 months down the track now. And it's partly because of council and partly because of the Rural Fire Brigade, the reason why it wasn't ready. They said, you can't do the event. So, well, it's planned. It's not even our event. It's someone else's event and they're using the space. And you said 6 to 8 weeks and we're now 9 months later. They said, too bad, you can't do it. So we did it. And we called the people from the American Truck event. We told them what was going on. We were really upfront and honest. He knew about the process through this. And he's just like, well, guys, it's your call sort of thing. It's your land. And we said, no, we're going to do it anyway. Like, we can't change everything on you. And it went really well. We did a draw where we collected receipts from people that stayed. So there was 130 cars and vans and only 40 people put in receipts. But we know that we brought in at least 12 grand into the town. We had dust abatement on the road for our neighbours. We had speed limit signs. And the event itself went really well. Like, everyone was respectful. Rubbish got removed. Everyone was self-contained. It was fantastic. But about 2 days after the event was done, we went to the post office and I had a registered letter addressed personally to me, and I got a personal fine from the council for $3,000. So I was like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
So I looked into the laws around that, and basically it's because we did an event without the DA being approved, and it's a state law, and it'll be much worse the more we go and do events. But that was going to be our main income here. So that was our goal, was to have this off-grid lifestyle, somewhere we could camp, somewhere we could bring you guys and have a few annual events every year.
It was us mashed into a location. Like, we were talking about this morning.
What we do
and it
in
was
travel.
Like, we've always loved caravanning. We love getting off grid. We love new places. We love connecting with people. We love doing camp outs. And this location allowed us to be able to mash all that into one and enjoy all those things in one place. And that was the backbone to why we ended up in Tenterfield with this property and the size of it
goals.
And all these ideas and stuff, was because it was us. It was us in so many different ways, and we were so excited to be able to make this work and really bring some people to the town. You know, let them enjoy what we've, bought here and created.
And like, we were talking with councillors in the early days. We were going to council meetings. We were actually learning a lot about the council, and their agriculture is their biggest mean of income in the town, and the second one is tourism, and they really want to build that tourism area. So here's us going, wow, we're going to do something that's really going to support the town, and people are going to love it.
It was ideal. It was an ideal setup for us. Like, it's a small country town that really wants tourism to build them up, which happens across the country everywhere. But it just turns out, we know this now, and there's no way we could have known it without being here and doing this, is that this is a very agricultural area. It's a tight-knit community. People have been here for their whole lives, for generations, and those people are locals. We're not locals. It's an old school generation town.
Yeah.
Like, they're very old school in the way they do things. They're very set in their ways.
They're okay.
Which I totally understand. I get it. But there's no room, which seems to be no room for any sort of growth or changes or new things coming in.
We were bringing in too much progression. And we were too forward thinking. So we're treating it like this tourism great idea that we could bring in, but in an agricultural community, basically.
It's like a great idea in the wrong place.
Yeah. So what we've got going at the moment, which is still going and won't end regardless of the fact that we're selling, is the campground. So the new owners are going to continue that. And we always had that as just a way that people can come and experience what we've created here. But it was only ever 6 people maximum at any time, which is a New South Wales law that allows you to do that. So the new owners are going to continue doing that because they want to continue that, but they're using this as more of a lifestyle block. So you can still come here under the new managers, and they're really cool. They're actually arriving today.
Yeah, we're doing actually a bit of a handover with those guys because they've bought everything. So they're basically the tiny home, the tractors, the whole lot. So there's a lot of things for them to learn, and obviously us using these things over a long period of time, we've got a lot of knowledge, and we want to hand that on to these guys before we leave.
The way they
it's just not going to
use...
happen over a video call or a phone. It's just not the same, as you would probably know. So
the way they want to use the land will work in this area
perfectly for what they want,
and they have time. Like, we probably could have got to the point that we would have been doing events here, and we could have increased the campsite size, but we needed probably 3 to 5 years just to be able to get to some of our progressive goals, in a sense. Whereas, that's the next part of this whole sort of saga. We could have stayed, we could have tried to push for things and fight for things, but fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, but we've actually been in contact with a few people in the area that are doing very similar things to what we're doing here. So there's someone in particular that's not far from Tenterfield that actually has a campground similar to ours. And they were going through all the DEA processes and approvals and all the stuff that we've been doing. And they said it took them 3 years to get that primitive set up.
A primitive campground.
Primitive campground, which basically means, in a nutshell, you can take it to the next level. You can have as many events as you want. You can have as many people as you want to extend.
To the number of people you're allowed to have.
But it gives you a lot more, room to do things you want to do.
You need to have potable water, toilets with accessibility for disabled. There's a few things that need to happen, and that was our goal.
But 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was like a long process for them to get to that.
Yeah, there's another one in the same shire who has like a lot of people come through and doesn't have approval and just flies under the radar.
Yeah.
Like, there's both sides, but we can't do, like, the conversations I had with a lady at council, she said, if you're going to do social media and put everything online, you just can't do the wrong thing, which I agree with. We need to get it right. We can't show you something which is ethically or legally wrong because we've got we have a stance that we have to keep, and so we can't go and put those things out to you if we can't do it the right way.
We would never not do it the right way. Yeah. But there's more pressure on us to make sure we do it the right way because we're in the spotlight. People are watching us. Lots of people are watching what we're doing each step of the way. So it's a little bit more pressure for us to make sure we're doing it 100%. Regardless of that, we would anyway. But I think that's where it sort of gets a bit tricky with this area too. Like, they're watching everything you're doing, every step that we take. They're watching everything that's happening in the background. So, but
then the other side of things too is, like, being here for the period of time that we have, I've also realised that it's really important to me to be somewhere warm. I didn't realise, like, I was really looking forward to this, but now that we're in it, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to have warm. And we always said we were going to go settle in Cairns. And we've ended up in Tenterfield, which is like one of the coldest towns in northern New South Wales. Like, it doesn't make sense.
We've had a really sort of moment the last few weeks thinking, what happened to going to Cairns? Why did we forget about Cairns?
When we bought this, there was so much going on as well. I had just left Zone.
Yeah.
And then my mum had just passed away. And my sister was just about to have her first child just after my mum passed away. And all of the stress of everything going on with that, hey... And
it was a whirlwind.
This happened at the same time. So maybe it was a great idea at the time. I don't know. But anyway, so I guess you're wondering then, like, what's next? And there's a lot happening next. We always plan to do Cape York and Mundi Mundi, which, again, if you follow on socials, you'll be hearing about that. And we were going to have a caretaker, but now there's a new owner. And we'll do Cape York, Mundi Mundi. We're going to record it like old time's sakes. We're not going to be with sponsors and all that stuff. We're just doing it because we want to do it like we used to do. And
like the good old days.
We know where we want to settle. We've already spoken to the council. We've told them that we're big Oz explorers and this is our old campsite and here's our issues. And they want us to come. So
they're actually excited for us to come up to that area because they know what potential that actually has, which is really refreshing to know. It's
going to be a lot easier.
And that's a really big thing we've learned from this whole experience here. Is we need to put in some groundwork before we go somewhere else, which for some might be common sense, but for a lot of people it's probably not something you would think about having to do. Yeah, there's a big learning curve that we've learned there, and that's one of them is making that first step before we even commit to anything this time around.
But we're just going travelling.
Yeah, we're back in the van. We're currently in the van. You might look at us right now. We're in the tiny home. We thought we'd come up here and have a last little... film of where we've lived for the last almost 12 months, I guess, in the tiny home.
Yeah.
But full time in the van, it's actually a really good feeling being back in the van. It's been really nice to get back to something that's familiar, that we know we can do. We got so much confidence doing it now.
Yeah.
It's really nice from that sort of things. But Cape's just another one of those places that we've talked about going ever since we left last time. Like we
were supposed to go
hanging for
in 2023,
Yeah,
and then we started working at Zone.
Zone stopped that.
And then we wanted to go in 2024, but then we moved, and my mum and everything happened, so it didn't happen. So we planned it for this year, and it was always going to happen this year, and we're not stopping it. We're going to Cape.
Well,
so excited.
So 6 weeks up there, back to filming like Sean said, which we're really excited about. We've got your dad coming along, and we've got some really good friends of ours that we met these guys.
They came to the marketing weekend here.
Yeah, that was the first time we met it, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a weekend where we brought out people in vans to stay free of charge so we could take photos of their setups.
Yeah, to set up Agora and that, yeah.
Rather than us just move one van around the whole campsite to show you everything. And prior to that, I'd met them at Zone as well, so...
Yeah, a little bit of a connection at Zone. And then we had 3 or 4 working bees after that, and they came to almost all of them.
And they're good friends now.
And they've just...
really good friends.
They've really turned into really great friends, and... Again,
it's going to be a good trip.
It's going to be really cool. It's not too many of us, but there's enough of us to sort of hang out,
each other,
make some good memories, and really looking forward to that. Then obviously Monday after that, a wedding, and then I don't know what's gonna. We got a few things in the pipeline at the moment. Can't really say too much now, only because nothing's set in stone.
Yeah, I don't want to give you something and then say it's not.
Yeah,
there's a place that we're looking at, and we have a conditional contract on it, but we need to look at it, and depending on what happens there depends what we do.
Do you want to give them a rough idea where we're looking?
Well, we did say where we want to settle before.
Well, if anybody picked up on that. Well, we always said Cairns, so it's a pretty obvious answer there, but yeah, far north Queensland we're looking. So
someone just turned up in a caravan. We got a camper who rocked up. We still have people coming through every day.
All
right
the time.
Now.
It's
there's
really
2
cool.
people camping down there, and one's just turned up. It's really cool.
So yeah,
oh shush! She's
you.
barking. She can see the
guard
car.
dog.
Yeah, she always lets us know when someone arrives.
So yeah, far north Queensland, we're looking around that area. We won't give you specifics just yet because obviously we don't know, but we are looking at a place which is pretty exciting, but we obviously can't see it until we get up there. So we thought, let's just wait until we get up there. When we start our trip for Cape, we'll spend a couple of days sort of cruising around and looking around, and then and then go from there, basically. So yeah.
She just wants to say her bit, that's all.
Well, she'll do that for the next half an hour until you
that's her now. Until she has a good chance to go bark. If I tell her to go, she'll go bark at the window and then she'll shush. But until then, she'll just do this because she can see them. She's so funny.
Ooh, grumpy bum.
Yeah. And this is the thing, I'm excited for you to see more of her. There's so many different things that we were going to show you in the time we'd been here. We've just been so busy.
Well, it's not just being on the land is busy enough as it is. And
it's
then
really busy. There's a lot to do.
Going through council stuff, and then got campers rocking up, which we're catching up with all the time. We like to go down and see each and every camper that comes through.
Yeah.
Shush. There's just a lot always going on. I think I said it to someone the other day, I think we just thrive on having lots to do, even though
people go, I can't believe you're just doing so much. It's I can't imagine having it any other way.
When there's not much to do, we're bored in a way. So it's yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So, but it's a bit of an update video. If you got any more questions, throw them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer anything that you guys want to know about. We have been offline for a little while, but we are coming back online very soon, and we're going to be in a big way. So. Really looking forward to all that side of it, and I hope you guys are just as excited. I know we get heaps of messages weekly and monthly still of when's the next episode coming out. We want to see what you guys are up to. Are you filming Cape? People are really excited for us to come back.
Yeah,
so
I feel like we left everyone's lounge room and left a hole.
Yeah,
that's the impression I get from a lot of people we talk to, and I feel really bad for that, but I really needed it, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm happy to claim that. I
that. 100%.
And then we just never really got back to doing it full time again because there's just been so much on.
Well, I've had so much in between.
And it still will never be every week on a Thursday because what happened was we just had so many brands and so much work along with being parents and doing homeschooling and actually enjoying your travels. Everything was just too much. So it'll never be weekly, possibly fortnightly. I'd like to aim for fortnightly, and there might be the odd occasion where we actually miss a fortnight, and that'll... Yeah.
There'll be content, but it won't be as regular as what it used to be.
We just need to look... I need to look after my personal mental health.
All of ours. Like,
yeah.
If we're not good, nothing's good. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
if we can't enjoy each other, then what's the point of even trying to do anything else?
No, exactly right. But we know we've created such a big community with all you guys, and we really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And it's the reason why we like to still do this as well. You know, it's not only just us doing another adventure and getting out there. It's sharing it with you guys, because a lot of the feedback that I've been getting is we miss you guys for the information you used to give us and the in-depth sort of stuff that people don't always dive into and give you.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of people have said that we do things quite differently.
Yeah.
And
we've got a certain style about how we do things.
That hasn't changed and won't change. So if you like our style, that's what you're going to get.
If anything, it's going to be more OG than what it ever used to be. You know,
wait till you see Jack now and Jada, and oh my god, like they're just grown up so much. It's just such a different experience. Even being in the van right now, what used to get on our nerves and what used to frustrate the kids and what wasn't working is not a thing anymore. Like the dynamics have changed because our family has aged in a sense, and we've got a dog now. So that's another aspect that is new for us. That's probably the only thing that we don't understand being on the road is having a dog, because she's never had a lead. She's
a free range poodle.
I literally got her a collar because I'm like, I should probably put a collar on her if we're actually leaving the land. So yeah, that's new and different. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to share it all with you. I'm excited to edit it and get back in touch with you all and do our premieres every week. And premieres not every week. Premieres every episode. I'll say that.
Every few weeks.
Yeah. And just get back into it. So
yeah, it's going to be good. So before we sign out, we actually wanted to, while we're here, show you around the tiny home and where we've been living for the last 12 months. Because I'm sure people are going to be like, you didn't get to show us a tiny home. Because I actually had a full thing I was going to set up where I was going to show you a heap of photos and give you a walkthrough and stuff, and we're going to do a full-blown bloody thing. And
but at least to give you an idea of what it's like, and I guess the one thing we can say is it's been really cool. It's been awesome. Hey?
It has been good.
It's worked.
It's been everything we thought it was going to be with a tiny home, because for us being in a caravan for 3.5 years full-time, to go to a tiny home was like the Taj Mahal. It was like, whoa, we've got so much room, we've got full-size beds.
We're like in an American fifth wheeler. Like, that's how it feels in a sense. It's,
But it's crazy how much you can fit into a home and how much, we didn't really need. It's just an oversized caravan. Yeah. And it's worked really well for our situation and what we wanted to do it for. And I can see why they're getting really popular now, because they're a lot cheaper than a house.
Cost of living.
You can transport them anywhere. You've got everything you ever need in one. We've had the 2 kids in here and it's been fine. So,
all right, I'll show you around. I reckon camera over to you.
Yeah, throw you around.
Hey. So start with the boring bit, because we've been sitting here this whole time. But this is our lounge area, and this actually converts to a queen bed. So you can actually use this if you had anyone come and stay with you. It's got the windows all the way around. Look how big this window is.
It's a pretty bloody big window.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But this area is really nice in the mornings, especially now it's colder because you get all the sun. I've got the blind down at the moment so we didn't get glare. But yeah, this is Bella's favourite spot of a morning normally. She came in before looking for her bowls, what's going on?
Yeah, she's got a little routines in here, but everything's gone.
And then from here, we're going to swap out sides. So when you turn around and come the other way, for our filming stuff, we have the kitchen. So a double burner stovetop. Move them out of the way. A double burner stovetop. The oven is electric, and that's been fine because the battery system we have. Heaps of storage, just the cupboards.
Loads and loads
of storage. They're so big. So they're like that all the way along. We had plates, cups, everything going on in here. Massive pantry up the end. This will remind you of a caravan, but on steroids again.
Yeah, it's 4 times as old.
So big pantry, all your normal drawers, your undercover drawer, and then the added bonus is over here you had even more storage. So this really big cupboard's cool because it's got a power point. We used to have an air fryer in here. I'll put the microwave there for now for the new owners. We used to have it on top of the fridge. And all your pots and pan drawers and stuff. So it's just, so much room. If you struggle in a caravan, you won't be able to fill this.
No, they've really utilised the space in here really, really well.
We'll go down, we'll do the bathroom, and then I'll show you upstairs.
Well, just quickly.
Let's turn some things on.
This is our power system. It's very sort of basic. There's really not too much to it, but it pumps. Like it's a 12 kilowatt system. So you got the one battery, which you can obviously alternate and add more to it. So you can put additional batteries in there. And then got our inverter, all the switches and fuses. And then we got the solar on top. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We've never had really any dramas with it. Like the solar on top is enough.
Is it 2.5 kilowatt of solar?
I think it was. So 12 kilowatt battery system, 5 kilowatt inverter.
5,000 watt.
5,000 watt inverter.
Yeah.
And then we had the 2.5, you reckon? I could never.
I'm pretty sure it's 2.5.
I could never remember the bloody solar.
Full size fridge again. So, yeah, normal size fridge. Yeah. And all this is on 240 as well. So none of this 12 volt. Everything is normal power points like a normal house.
Just exactly like a normal house.
Where we're going to move is actually going to be off grid too. So we're going to get to do this all again, but on a bigger scale.
Much bigger scale.
Tip. So bathroom space. I love the mirror. I put it on so you could see it because I used to love this. With the little shelves, we had extra drawers and stuff just to give extra storage. This is a 6.5 kilo washer, so it's bigger than a caravan again, but it's not as big as a house, and it did everything we needed it to do. Full mass amount of storage and stuff, like just deep cupboards. They're the depth of the bench, all your normal kitchen drawers, bathroom drawers, like full size. Big shower, comfortable shower, cove in the wall. It's awesome. Yeah. We had to add extra hooks, these little stick-on ones. We got them from Facebook actually. I found them on there. They were advertised and they're just stick on and screw on to tighten. But they match all the gold fittings and stuff. So them and extra hooks, just towels and stuff.
Were they like a Temu thing we seen on an ad or something?
Oh, it's some...
It was one of those Instagram ads.
It's one of those little Chinese companies where you can't read half the website and they come about 6
weeks
later.
They're great.
They're like proper solid.
You almost, you think they're already here.
We actually had a different toilet in here. It used to be a drop toilet and it had a container at the bottom of it, and all we ever had was problems. There was smells, there was flies, there was the backdraft, there was so much that used to go wrong with it. So we pulled the whole thing out and went, bugger this, and got a nature's head, and we've had no problems since. So we'll teach the new owners how to use that, because I don't know if they've had composting before, but that's been great here. We've had no problems with that. The last one...
Everyone knows that we love our composting, and Nature's Head's been a big part of our composting journey.
If you are looking at composting in your house and you're like, God, what was the brand that was horrible? Get in touch with us and I'll tell you all about what went wrong. But I don't necessarily want to just say it's horrible online, because we didn't have enough experience with it, I don't think.
But there's that many different setups too. Yeah. Like there's that many brands. It worked at the last
place where it was, but not so much here.
We just stuck to what we know and what we've experienced and we're comfortable with, and that's just Nature's Head's worked really well.
But now we've got a no-go, so we'll be able to do a comparison soon.
Yeah.
On both of the toilets, and I'll tell you there's a comparison there.
Oh, there's a big difference.
So stairs, they take you up to the bedroom. These are a bit higher than normal stairs, so if you had any issues, there might be a problem. And obviously this last one here is hip height. So yeah, this is good because you can get dressed and you can do whatever you need to do here, and you've got a full standing space, but the rest of the bedroom is a loft space. So yeah, it's
not for everyone, but it's a tiny home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You got to make compromises here and there. And to be honest, I thought it was going to be a real pain in the ass.
No, it wasn't a problem.
No, that's what I mean. But
yeah,
for a lot of people that have never done this before, and you're going into a home as such, and then you've got to walk into a room that's made for hobbits, it's not for everybody. So I think
I might be hair on you.
For me, it was like, whoa, we can't even stand up in here. This is going to be really annoying. I'm going to be bumping my head all the time.
But you sleep here.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, once you're here and you're experiencing it and you're being a part of it, it's actually not that bad. It wasn't like as big of an issue as I thought it was going to be. So, yeah.
So this became a combination bedroom/lounge room. So the TV was up here. The kids would often sit up here and watch shows for the day. We had the Xbox up here. So if it was really crappy weather, they'd be up here, Xbox and popcorn and whatnot. Yeah, the only adjustment we made was this curtain. So it meant that we could get like privacy from the kids. So of a night time, the question that everyone asks you to caravan is, how do you manage to get that time? Well, same thing. How do you manage in a tiny house? You put a curtain up and that fixes everything. Gives you a bit of privacy. Means you can watch something on the TV as well that maybe isn't kid friendly, but you can get away with it.
But in saying that too, like you can see in the background here, there's 2 more beds. So that's obviously where the kids were sleeping. So for them to go to bed, we're obviously up a bit later than them.
Yeah.
And to have the TV on, it's like literally lighting up the whole top end of the house.
We had our pillows and we'd put headphones on. So we used to do this in the caravan too. We had the auxiliary cord and it would go to a splitter and we'd both have our set of good headphones. They're noise cancelling and we could watch whatever you want. And the kids can't even hear it. So it worked out really well.
Yeah. So that's the main bedroom.
Yeah.
And
not much to it.
You can kind of make out what's on the other side there. We'll go over there and check out where the kids were.
I'll go climb up. So, kids' space. So there's not a lot to it. It's literally just 2 single beds. We did get some frames here though, so they had underbed storage. So that's a whole single bed of storage under there. So between wardrobe and toys, and Jack had the same, wardrobe and toys. They actually, Jada filled hers because she fills everything.
She's a hoarder.
Jack was,
I keep saying it, she hasn't gotten any better. She's a hoarder.
Every few months I go through her stuff and I get rid of things because she likes to keep things. Jack, on the other hand, had only filled half his bed with his clothes and his toys. So that was that. And there used to be a little bedside table in between here with a lamp for them as well. And we put some fans on the wall. So they're actually really good, those fans, by the way. I'll have to find what they're called and I'll put it down below. But if you want a really quiet fan that gives you like maximum breeze, that's your fan. It's on Amazon. So yeah. And what else? Oh, Starlink is up behind me. So that actually goes into the wall. And there's the, what do you call it? Panel?
The Starlink panel.
Starlink pole and panel. That's actually on the roof. So that's the modem and the poles on the roof. And that's all built in. Again, running on 240. It's just here all the time. So yeah, it's good. And that is the whole tiny house. Not even kidding. Like,
that's your house tour in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's all been really good. I think the one thing people will be like, oh my God, how did you not put a wall here? What about your kids? Like, what if they fell off?
Yeah.
We have had no accidents off of this edge in the whole time we've been here, which has been, what are we in now? June? Were we here at Christmas? Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Probably October, November to now. Like, it's probably a good 8 months or so. Never one accident, nothing on the ladders. Everyone's been really good. Jack's been fine.
We can safely say that now because the kids are not in here anymore.
Yeah,
you know, when
exactly.
you say, "Oh, we've never had it happen," and then next week someone falls over and breaks their bloody arm.
Yeah, but we didn't have any issues up here at all. And to be honest, they were only really up here for sleep time. It wasn't a play area or anything. It was just a bedroom for bedtime. And neither of them really get up at night to wee or anything. So, and we're the same. We don't get up, so there was no risk of that happening. But we used to have a little night light on anyway, so if anyone needed anything, they could see around. But yeah, we're here. So there you have it.
Tiny home tour. Done. Didn't take very long at all, did it?
No.
I think it was 10 minutes on the video. So
was it?
In and out.
Don't even need to really trim much of it either.
No.
But yeah, this is a tiny house by Removed AU. Removed AU?
Yeah, so we
Removed
bought...
Co.
No, Removed AU. So if you go on Instagram...
I'll put the link in.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook, I'm pretty sure they're on, and Removed.
They've got a website as well.
Yeah. So a little back history of this, we bought it secondhand. So there was a young couple back on the coast, on the East Coast, that bought it and had it for about 12 months. They decided to go overseas and go travelling. They didn't want any of it because they couldn't take any of it, half the stuff that was in the house with them. So we basically bought it fully furnished with fridges, lounges, washing machines, the whole lot.
Apart from the kids' beds upstairs, because that used to be a study.
Yeah, but all the main things, like there was enough in here to roll into the property and start living in it, which was actually really cool. So yeah, just under 150 grand will get you something like this. Yeah. Which again, I can see why people do go down this track. Cause
if you don't have the funds available to actually get a full house build, or a lot of the banks these days just won't give enough money that you can actually build, but you can get one of these. Yeah. It's very competitive. Like when you think about it, you spend that much, if not more, on a caravan, and yet you have like a livable house.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not that easy to move around all the time, though. It's not something you could use like a caravan, but...
It's for the accessibility and just where you can take it, where you can put it, the things you have inside it. Like, I get it. Tiny homes are really popular, and I now understand why. I'm now living in one for an extended period of time.
I reckon if you're like, what is your biggest bit of advice for someone getting a tiny home? Go off grid power. Just spend the money, do it, and so you're just self-reliant. It means you don't have to be near a power source or anything. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is if you're a family and there's a way you can get one that doesn't have lofts, as much as they were fine for us, if you can have a full roof, you know, like a full-size roof in your bedrooms, go for that. So if you're a couple, maybe avoid a loft. Go for something that's a full-length one level.
Well, there is a lot of different layouts and designs specifically made for families and things like that. I guess the flip side for us is because we bought it secondhand, it was a couple setup because actually where the kids were,
it was a study.
That was a study, like an office for where these guys used to do their online work. Like just behind us here, like up underneath here was actually where you would sit at a table and your legs would dangle over the side. So we actually removed the desk that they used, filled that hole in, cut it to shape, filled it in to make a solid floor so we can make it a room. So for us, if we were to do this again, obviously we'd go for something that was a bit more suited for what we would need. But in the meantime, for what it was, like we made it work.
And the price we paid, like everything about it, it was just a really good experience.
Yeah, no, I don't regret any of it at all. Like with the ideas and the thoughts that we had, like this was definitely the best, quickest, easiest, most affordable option for us at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't regret any of it. Like tiny homes are awesome. I fully get it. I keep saying it, but they are really cool.
The other thing, you can probably just see it through the window. Look, stand over this way, babe. Other side.
Well,
see that beautiful shed out there?
That thing.
We finally finished it, by the way. So we got it ready for the new buyers. It took us about 6 months, but we did finish it. And it's got 3 lovely roller doors on it and a nice little lean-to outside with 3-meter eaves. It is a big, big shed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was just the other day we finished it and that was the happiest I've been in a long time after dealing with that shed because it was the end. Like, we bought that and built it ourselves. We've never put a shed together.
Yeah.
We're not tradies. We're not any of that sort of people.
But we got there.
We took it on. We got it. We did. I'm pretty proud of what we've done. Like it's
6 months.
Yeah, well, was it 6 months?
Nearly 6. We had it at Christmas. No, we got it before Christmas. We were going to start.
Don't say that.
We got it in November last year.
Longest shed build in history. I swear to God. But we got there, and I'm proud that we got there. And it actually doesn't look like it was done by some amateurs. So
yeah,
I'm pretty proud of that.
We're pretty particular.
It's a bit of a shame though because we don't get to enjoy it now. We've just put it all together and we're giving it away to someone else. But it is what it is.
Again, it's a stepping stone, and we've learned some lessons.
New chapter.
All right.
Again.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for looking through the tour with us, and we hope that answered your questions. If you have any more questions, now that we've shown you all that, chuck them down below.
Keep putting them in the comments.
Yep.
We'll spend as much time as we can down there and answer everything. If there's too many, we might even do a little Q&A. Who knows?
Hey, and you know what? Because I haven't said this in about probably 3 years. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave your comment.
And subscribe.
Oh my God. Like, totally. But yeah, we have got cool stuff coming up, and if you want to be a part of it, that'd be awesome. If we get like a little spike of subscribes now, I'll be like, yay, it worked. But anyway, all right.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.